So I thought I'd show a few videos of my Scout that I just built. A few people asked me to show how it works, how the transmission setup works, so I thought I'd take a little time and walk around, show everyone what it looks like, and we'll drive it down the road. So this is my 65 International Scout. I started building this about 21 years ago. So the main features are it has a Cummins 4BT. It has two transmissions, two 4-speed transmissions that are coupled together. It has an NP 205 transfer case, and it has a 14-bolt 1-ton rear axle and a Dana 60 1-ton front axle. There's the Dana 60 that has a fabricated front cover. It's been clearanced so that the tie rod can clear the pumpkin. This has a kingpin style axle. It's a Ford high pinion. It has 410 gears, and I built high steer arms. Everything has 7/8 time joints. It has a kingpin or a spring eliminator set up on the kingpins that I designed and built. This has a 3-link suspension, 14-inch Fox coilovers. The lower link bars are 2¼ inch diameter, solid 6061 aluminum. The steering box is from a 79 Jeep Wagoneer, and that works out pretty good. I've got halogen front headlights. The cage has been built half in and half out, so it's an external cage, but it goes down through the body, so it doesn't add any extra width to the vehicle. I'll open the hood up. What you're seeing here is the 4BT. I have a 6BT manifold that I cut down and I flipped. That ends up with a high turbo mount. Everything related to the air intake is pretty custom. I had to clear the heater box with my newly fabricated air box. It had to go around the bloater motor housing. The heater box has been modified to clear the shock hoops. The shock reservoirs are mounted here to the crossover bar. I fabricated an entirely new front radiator support. So these scoops bring the air in kind of the way that International did way up front. And so there's a duct on either side to do that. I have a Griffin. It's a aluminum radiator that was intended for LS swaps. That's what I ended up using. It's a crossover style, so both inlet and outlet are on one side. I have a intercooler in here and there's the coolant reservoir. That Hydro Boost setup is out of a step van, and it has a step van master cylinder. It uses the power steering pump from the reservoir is from a square body Chevy, and the pump itself is all Dodge Cummins stuff. I have hood liner underneath the hood because this thing is pretty noisy. Sounds like a box of rocks. Seats are from a Mini Cooper. They worked out pretty good. I had to modify I did more than modify. I built a whole new rear structure, and I had to modify the bottom cushion to fit into it because it has to be parallel on both sides to fit the Scout. Front seats are mounted on custom bases. I have to finish the visor yet, but I have Marine Co. Marine style wipers, and these are synchronized through this switch, so they both move at the same rate at the same time. That is I think it's a Teleflex brand marine tack. It gets an alternator signal, and that's what gives us the RPM reading off the engine. Pedals were highly modified to work in my setup because the floor's in a slightly different position. And here are the shifters. We have front trans, which is an SM465, and the rear trans, which is also an SM465. and the 205 transfer case has a twin stick setup. These are wheels that I built using Dodge. They're like a 17 by 7 wheel that I added a beadlock kit to. Here's the underside of it. The lower links mount to the cross member that holds the transmission assembly. You can see the two transmissions. There's an adapter plate between the two of them, and then since I used a Ford 205 on a GM Trans, I had to build an adapter in between those as well. This is the rear drive shaft. A lot of people wondered how long it would be. It's actually longer than you think. It's about, I believe it's about 32 or 36 inches if I recall. These are 1410 joints, double cardan in the front, single in the back. And the front one has 1350 joints. The rear is a 14-bolt GM axle. It's stock width. I added disc brakes. I shaved the bottom of the pumpkin, and I cut the ring gear down so I have more ground clearance with that. That's a custom built fuel tank that I made. It's about 22 gallons, I believe. When I got this, it was real rusty, so I cut pretty high into the body, and then as I fabricated the bumper, I filled the space. Roll cage mounts on bushings in the back. The exhaust comes through the side of the bumper. Has a rear mounted battery. And we're going to get in it. We're going to drive it down the road. I'm going to try to show you all of the gear ratios in sequence. Alright, I'm going to try to run it through the gears. First trans, second trans. We're going to both be in first gear, so creeper. We're in high range right now. This is about 0.8 miles per hour. So we got 1-1. This is 1-2. Then we have to go to 2-2. And then after that, I've got to go with this one, the creeper, this one in third. Then I can run fourth. And I can pull this one to second and put this one to third. Fourth. Then I go to third, fourth, third. That's top gear, 4-4. Now if we did that in low range, be the same thing, just half speed. So this will be the lowest speed. I've got the transfer case, shifter, and low range, just the rear axle. I'll put the first shifter and creeper, and then the second shifter and creeper. And clutch is out. This is 345 to 1 at the rear axle. 2300 RPM. That speed, it goes 0.2 miles per hour. Here's reverse. When I built these transmissions, I should have locked out or eliminated reverse in one of them. So if I have one trans in reverse, it obviously goes backwards. If I put both transmissions in reverse, it goes forward. So that's a little goofy, but the nice thing about the two transmissions is I can put one trans in reverse and I can underdrive reverse. So that's reverse, gear reverse, second reverse, third reverse, and then fourth is 1-to-1. So this would be the standard reverse speed in high range.